Do you remember that Chris Cuomo, at the height of the pandemic on CNN, advocated for the vaccine, participated in the shaming of people that were actually vaccinated, but not vaccinated enough? And of course, now he, with extraordinary serendipity, and I don't say this with any delight or joy, actually, because we are actually all on the same team, aren't we? We are all actually human beings. We do all actually have to find a way to get along with one another and heal after the extraordinary understanding that has emerged during the pandemic period. We cannot trust the media. We cannot trust the state. We cannot trust the corporations that, through donation and through funding advertisers and through extraordinary investment, are able to control the media, are able to control the government. And maybe, just maybe, it goes even deeper than that. Even those that were willing to go on the television and demand that you get vaccinated, or that you should be shamed, or you should be blamed, or you should be named and paraded through the streets, and if you were ever ill, there should be no obligation to pick. You should be left to die on the floor like a dog without even time for Nomi to shoot you dead like one. Those people, we're all on the same team, and we have to find some way of finding unity. Here's Chris Cuomo during the pandemic talking about vaccines. This is pretty staggering. Here he is during the pandemic talking about how all of us should get our asses vaccinated and fast.
Everybody should know that about you, Byron Donald. You are not telling people to get vaccinated. You are not pushing it. You are not saying it's the right choice. You're saying you're not doing it and your family's not doing it, and you're leaving out of the equation that you can make other people sick, as if that doesn't matter. Okay?
Chris, did you not just hear my answer 30 seconds ago where I said if you want to be protected from these variants and the original strain, please go get vaccinated? I promote you to do that. I just told you live on your own show that if you want to get vaccinated in America, go do it. But if there are Americans like myself who choose not to, please don't berate me for doing that. It is a personal choice I have made with my own health care. I am allowed to do that. I'm entitled to do
Byron,
that.
You're absolutely right to do it. You have a right to do it. Two different statements. Okay? Do you have the right? Of course, nobody's debating that except you guys as a false choice. What I'm saying is it right to do it?
Yes. Look at the confidence. Look at the hysteria. But look at where he's working. How can you even blame Chris Cuomo as an individual? I suppose the only thing that would make this more extraordinary is if Chris Cuomo himself then became a victim of vaccine injury. Let's watch this clip play out.
Have you spoken to a doctor? You're supposed to be a leader. Have you talked to the CDC and the people who are in Florida at the Department of Health about whether or not they think you made a good choice? Because if your answer is just then, well, I don't care what they say, this is me, I'm an American, that is being dumb as a proxy for being bold. And I don't think it's a good message because remember, it's not just you protecting yourself.
Let me say this.
It's you protecting me and other people from you. That's why you get vaccinated, not just for yourself.
For a moment, look at the innocent, childlike wonder of Cuomo's opponent, his sort of God-fearing open-heartedness, his willingness to actually come on a hostile TV show like Chris Cuomo's on CNN was and have an open-hearted, and perhaps the reason his heart is open and indeed functioning is because it's not rife with myocarditis, perhaps because he only took one vaccine. And note also that this is a dude that had taken a vaccine. He's not like, do not take vaccines under any circumstances. It's part of some population reduction program. It was created as a result of dual purpose research. I've got strong evidence to suggest that the lab leak itself involved Fauci and Fauci's funding. He's not going into any sort of, ultimately true, intriguing territories. He's just saying, I've taken one vaccine. I'm not going to take any more, thanks. And he's being treated like what he's saying is, well, under some circumstances, pedophilia could be a nice way to pass the afternoon. Now, subsequently, Chris Cuomo is a human being. I thought he did pretty well when he was on Tucker recently, but he has now experienced vaccine injury now that he's left CNN. I mean, if he was still working at CNN, what would he have instead of vaccine injury? Just inexplicable headaches, dizzy spells, quiet heart attacks in the corner. Like while CNN the vaccine continues to sell in record numbers. Pfizer's stock prices have stabilized. Help me. Shut up, Chris. Chris, don't be so selfish. Chris, shut your goddamn mouth, Chris. Chris, can't you see? We're trying to do the news. Brian, you tell me. Yeah, come on. We're trying to tell the truth over here. You son of a bitch. Why don't you go take some goddamn ivermectin? Actually, I am taking ivermectin now. It's too little too late. Do you have trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Perhaps because you're a busy parent or you work incredibly hard. I have to sleep well every night. I can't muck about because I have to look after my family. I have to do my job well. Now, Dream is a luxurious drink blend filled with the highest quality sleep promoting ingredients. It will help you to fall asleep and stay asleep. This is my favourite one, peanut butter, but there are other flavours as well. Here they are. Now, you can incorporate this easily into your nighttime routine like I have done. It helps me wake up refreshed, not at all groggy like other sleep-promoting agents might. If you get a subscription, it saves you 20% every single month, not to mention you get a little free frother look. One scoop of Beam Dream is clinically shown to help you fall asleep faster, sleep through the night, and wake up fully refreshed. Visit shopbeam.com/RussellBrand. Use the code BRAND to get my exclusive discount of up to 35% off. And also, they'll know that you use this code. It'll make this advert look like a real triumph.
New York Times released an article that's getting a lot of play that says that there are thousands of people who say they're still suffering side effects they believe from the vaccine and that those have been ignored. Now, one of them is nurse practitioner Sean Barkovich. He says he got his first dose in 2020, had side effects. Just standing up sent his heart racing, stinging pain in his eyes, mouth, groin. Those have gotten a little bit better, but he still has what they call tinnitus. That's a ringing in the ears. We know that vaccines can have unintended consequences, aka side effects.
Where was this on CNN, though? Where was this on CNN? I mean, again, it's not a personal attack on Chris Cuomo. What's the point in that? Human being, individual. But on CNN at the time, wouldn't it have been better to say, well, listen, we know that vaccines do often cause side effects and injuries, and it's understandable that there's a good deal of cynicism here because of the profits, because of the legal indemnity, because of the sort of bizarre accompanying propaganda campaign, because of the unwillingness to provide clinical data, because of the use of modelling instead of empirical epidemiological data, and because of a clear intention to create the conditions that legitimise authoritarianism. Why can't CNN, New York Times, the BBC have those conversations? Perhaps it's because they are affiliates of centralized organizations that have identified that they are no longer in opposition with one another. They are in opposition with independent media, and they are in opposition with you. That your intellectual freedom, your autonomy, your bodily autonomy, your mental freedom, your spiritual freedom is a problem for them. That's why domestic populations are being treated as terrorists. That's why your individual free will is suddenly a problem. That's why your spiritual freedoms, your right to raise your children how you want to raise your children, are all suddenly problems, because you are in a war. There's a war, all right, and you are the enemy when it comes to the legacy media, the establishment, and their shared interests.
But nobody's really talking about it because they're too afraid of blame and they just want it to go away. But the problem is people like Sean and me and millions of others who still have weird stuff with their blood work and their lives and their feelings, physically, are not going away.
No, oh, well, there you go. That's pretty fascinating. What an incredible turnaround that represents. And how is it that these systems are able to be continually perpetuated? Is there some nexus? Is there some point? Is there some motive for all of this? Here's Bobby Kennedy talking about the various relationships between the state, between Big Pharma and legislators. Let's have a look.
And in 1980, we passed a law called the Bayh-Dole Act. And that law allowed NIH scientists and NIH as an agency to collect royalties on any new drug that it helped develop, including the scientists who worked on that drug. So, for example, the Moderna vaccine, there are between 4 and 6 individuals at NIH who will get $150,000 a year forever, as long as that mRNA technology is on the market. NIH owns half the patent, and they get 50%. So if you're a regulator working for these agencies and you're making royalties and you're paying for your mortgage and your boat and your alimony and your kids' education based upon the performance of that drug in the marketplace because you helped develop it, it tends to subvert the regulatory function of the agency, because you have the regulators who are supposed to be looking for problems in that drug who are instead making sure they don't see any problems.
That's an extraordinary take, that ultimately there are royalties received by regulatory agencies that are in themselves funded by Big Pharma. It begins to make sense when you see the financial trails. Some people will say follow the money. We were told to follow the science. Economics is sometimes regarded as a kind of science, and it seems that when science becomes a subset of a certain economic imperative, it becomes empirically observable that corruption is at play. And unfortunately for AstraZeneca, it's had real life victims in real time. And for them to claim that this product is being drawn for commercial reasons, unless those commercial reasons are we are our customers, then there's a degree of dishonesty. And the only thing pure is the coincidence that they are claiming that this is, because the product seems to be somewhat short of pure. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat. We'll continue to cover these stories. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.